What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? I hope you all are tuned in, ready to go, excited about what we are doing here on today. Come on in, Perspective with Coach Jay. We're about to have a real good conversation and a little bit of a demonstration. That's right, a conversation and a demonstration. And the conversation that we're going to be having today is around food insecurity when it comes to young people and families, especially when young people are out of school for the summer or when young people are out of school during any break during the school year. Again, I'm
Mhm.
Coach Jay. Super appreciative for everyone who will watch this live and even those that will come back and watch the replay. Please hit like, please hit share. I have a phenomenal guest with me today who can do something that I cannot do, and that's cook good. And so I'm going to give her space and opportunity to introduce herself, and then we're going to get into this conversation about food insecurity. And then she's going to talk to us about what she prepared today, how cost effective it is, and how beneficial it can be for families who have young ones that are out of school that are just rambling through the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Like all day, every day it seems. So you got the flow, chef.
My name is Latrice Spencer. I am a chef. I am owner of Tiffin's Catering Services. I do weddings. I do meal prep. I cater different events. I also do private parties. In the meantime, I do things like this. I share certain meals and things, all ideas and stuff that I have on TikTok, Instagram. You can catch me there. I'm doing many demonstrations surrounding food and health and what's good for the body.
That's it.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Merles, for having me. I'm excited about tonight.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I appreciate you carving time out of your day, out of your schedule to just participate in this cause because we really want to get families information they need. And the
Hmm.
reality is, Latrice, I didn't realize how staggering the numbers are when it comes to food insecurity during the summer
Hmm.
months. And I was just doing some research, and about 13 million children,
Hmm.
13 million now, not 13,000, but 13 million children in the US will find it difficult to access food consistently
Hmm.
during the summer months. Now, we ain't talking about accessing, clothing, accessing shelter. We're talking about like one of those basic needs of being able to access food. Here in the US of A, 13
Wow.
million. Now, what does that number do for you when you hear 13 million here in the US of A? 13 million children not being able to access food. How does that resonate with
That number is entirely too high for this to be, a free country and liberal country. There's no way that number should be that high, and it just shows a level of neglect from all type of authorities, starting, with family, with parenting, the government, the school system, the community. I think that's a level of neglect when it comes to the children. There's no that number is too high.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, especially when you talked about the neglect
Hmm.
from, a system standpoint. We gotta hold our government accountable. We gotta hold our communities accountable. We gotta
Hmm.
hold our local leaders accountable. And of course, we gotta, hold parents accountable to see what it is that we can do to help families not have to face these situations. And I dropped the link in the chat because as I was doing some research, I went to this link, and you can put your zip code in this link. After you pull this link up, you can put your zip
Hmm.
code in, and it will bring up every local food bank that may be in your area that is offering, food. And what I would say to any parent or any family is this: don't allow your ego to get in the way and prevent you from reaching out in the community to see what resources are available, or even going to a food bank to
Hmm.
access food, because sometimes I know we can be prideful, right? But
Right.
we have, as adults, we have to put our egos to the side to make sure our children are getting what they need, because those are the ones who we need to make sure we're taking care of. Because having good nutrition is a part of development. What are your thoughts on
Absolutely.
access to food bank?
I used to um, get food actually for the food bank for the ministry that I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it was very very helpful. It cost no money, and we were able to provide tons of food to families who were in need, who were struggling financially, who maybe ran out of food stamps, or maybe they wasn't approved no more for food stamps, or just needed help. Period. That was in poverty. So you definitely need to access food banks, especially if you have the opportunity to, because it's free food. There's so many options you could choose from, and it's there for the community. A lot of people just don't either know that it's there, or they won't take out the time to do it. Preoccupied with other things, or maybe thinking they don't can't have the access. But it is for the community. And it is for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, and
So I
I'm
think they just need to have a working knowledge of how to access it and where to get it from.
yeah, and that's why I start this link, because you can put this link in no matter what state you live in. As long as you put your zip code in, you will be able to pull up food banks in your particular area. And you said a mouthful when you said that a lot of people just lack the knowledge of what resources are available.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you don't have internet, go to the library, get on Google, and just search. Again, don't allow your ego to get in the way and prevent you from being able to access the resources that are available in the community, that are put in the community to help. I'm not saying that because you access the food bank that you're going to have to always be dependent on the food bank, but it's like a stepping stone. It gives you access to have your needs met until you can do better for yourself as a
Mm-hmm.
parent. You may be struggling, with finding a full-time job. You may be working a part-time job. So your issue may be, not only I need to access the food bank, but I need to go to the unemployment office as well to do what I need to do to get a full-time job. But no matter what it is that you need in terms of resources, 9 times out of 10 in your community, those resources may exist. We just cannot be
Absolutely.
too proud and let our ego get in the way to access those services. But I also
Absolutely.
realize that some of us have other barriers that prevent us from accessing those resources, whether it's a lack of having access to the internet, a lack of having access to transportation. But this is what I know: as an adult, when you want something, you'll make a way to do it, and you'll make a way to get it and make it happen. You understand
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
people that that won't provide food for their children, but they'll find a way to get to the club on Friday night. They'll find a way to get to the bar on Saturday night. And
They'll
so,
find a way to get that updated iPhone.
come on, you know what I mean? So we have to make, the right things the priority, so
Mm-hmm.
that, we can take care of our responsibilities as parents, because like you said, we're seeing too much neglect show up in families
Mm-hmm.
these days. We're seeing too many children that are not getting their basic needs met, you know what I'm saying, because of
Mm-hmm.
family situations, because of the communities that they're raised in. And we got to start having more conversations around this and see what it is that we can do to help the young ones.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
would love to see these conversations come up in schools and churches, boys and girls club, like the the resources that the community have. Most boys and girls club, most churches, things like that. You're gonna come and you know what kids are in poverty. The teachers they come in contact with these kids every day, so you know where there's a need at. It's just the point of getting that information to the families.
yeah,
And I would love to see these conversations spread more in the communities and where there's a lot of poverty, the churches, the Boys and Girls Club, the community center, the YMCA, places like that. Yeah.
yeah. I think all of those organizations need to work together. It would be nothing for a school to have a food pantry. Matter of fact, I have known some schools to have a pantry to where they can give out some canned goods. But again, we have to start having real conversations and remove these egos and the pride that we have around deficits that we have as human beings. Like, I can't get a need met if I won't open my mouth to say, hey, I have a need. And so I
Mm-hmm.
would say to any family out there, no matter what your need is, find somebody you can trust and have a conversation. You may not feel comfortable, going to get that food, but it may be somebody that you know and trust that you have a relationship with that may say, you know what, I'll go pick it up for you and bring it to you because I don't want to see you and your children suffering when it comes to food. You know what I mean? But like you said, we need to see more ministries, uh, more organizations in the community partnering and working together, right? Instead of always looking for an opportunity to make some money, look for an opportunity to meet the need. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody can't afford to pay for the camp to go get the meals. So what about them as well? So we need to, when it comes to resources, we need to have something that's available for everybody.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I looked up another statistic that said 41% of parents struggle in some way to provide food for their children. 41%. And that's when we go back to the system issue. How is it that a working parent is struggling to provide food for their children during the summer months? There's something wrong with that here in America that I can work 40 hours a week
Mm.
and I don't have enough resources to stock my refrigerator to take care of my children.
There's so many ideas that come to my mind, or actually so many explanations that comes up. But I think it's the priority. It's where they putting their money at in that family too. Now I'm not. I don't want to get stoned for this, but I'm saying I have seen it. Like we were saying about the iPhone and going out to the club. Like you will find there ain't a lot of big mamas in the world left. Those that will sacrifice and give all for their kids, and no matter what, my kid's gonna have clothes on their back. My kid's gonna eat and all that stuff. And that era is it's like slipping away,
Mhm.
honestly. And so you have to really think, as parents, are we really doing what we need to do, the sacrifices that we need to make for our children, and making sure, because if they are working, yeah, there's something that's not adding up. There's some priority somewhere financially that's not adding up, and we can definitely help today. There's a lot of keys and tips that we can give today that can kind of illuminate those struggles. If I'm saying
Yeah,
it right.
yeah. You're
Yeah.
you're right. It's definitely about priority.
Mm-hmm.
And I also heard, what I heard come up in your conversation is, you know, just bringing the sense of community back.
Mm-hmm.
The time when we sort of like looked out for each other, we took care of each other. If Mr. Marshall down the road, he grew some peas and watermelons and cucumbers and okra and squash. You know what I'm saying? He was not only growing that for his family, but he was growing that for everybody in the neighborhood. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody in the neighborhood went
For
fishing
sure.
and they caught, 50 brim, they were gonna
Mm-hmm.
probably put 25 up for themselves and then give, other people in the neighborhood a few. That's the era that I come from, right? What
Yeah.
we if you went uptown and you got WIC and they gave you 3 gallons of milk, you took 1 gallon and you gave the other two out. That's like we really took
Absolutely.
care of each other like that. And so
Yeah.
we definitely gotta, the sense of community is gonna look different. I'm not saying it's gonna look like it did when we grew up, but we have to get back to a place to where we value each other enough to take care of each other. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Like
Yeah.
how is it that we don't value each other enough to where if you got a need, I'm gonna sit over here and eat and look at you in need, and I ain't gonna try to help you at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is true. You stepping on toes, because I don't even too much know I would, if I'm eating and I see somebody else ain't eating, I don't even know if I would offer. To be honest with you, it's just the mindset that we in now. Back in the day, of course, you
Yeah,
people coming in. Hey, can I get you some water? Can I get you anything?
yeah,
It ain't like that nowadays. You come in and you don't even get invited in, or you don't even get asked to have a seat.
yeah.
You just be standing there looking at each other. Nowadays, it's just how it is. It's just how the times are now. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a different time. It's one that again I know the community is gonna look different now,
Mhm.
but I do believe that we can get a sense of community back. Um, Even you don't want to just give people handouts, right? Because when you give people handouts,
Right.
you get them dependent on you. But you want to, that old saying, you teach a man how to fish, he can fish for himself. you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we're doing today. We're not giving any handouts. We're giving some crucial tips, and the chef is going to show parents and families how they can prepare these meals that you can, put these in the refrigerator, and your children can go in and they can eat during the day, and you not have to stop what you're doing or take time off work to cook for them. You prepare these meals. These kids these days are they're so hard to do. They don't even like leftovers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, want fresh food every day.
Every day. Like
Listen.
what at it? What they do that at? You know what I mean? But that's the day we're in. They want it fresh, prepared every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. So talk to us, Chef. What have you prepared?
Yeah,
That is gonna help some families be able to offer their children some hearty, healthy meals while they out of
sure.
something.
So when we're talking about preparing food, meal prepping and stuff on a budget, the basic things you want to involve is planning. You want to utilize the resources, like we said earlier, and also being creative. So you got to really know what your children like and expound on that. And so um, we can go over that, but I've done some real simple things. I think all kids like tacos, they like pizza, burgers, things like that. Very simple things, right? So today I did some quesadillas, which this meal alone, you can do at least four things like that. I don't know if y'all can see
Oh,
that
wow.
good.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
quesadillas. Yeah, these are flour tortillas, and you can actually transform these tortillas into tacos. You can make what do you call those things? The dip, where the like quesos, and you can fry these tortillas up, use it as a dip with the same taco meat, and then I just use a basic low quality. Well, not it was low. I'm saying it's low because it was cheap. 1 pound of ground beef, which was like $3. The tortillas was $1.59 for a pack of 12,
uh-huh.
and I just used a basic pack of cheese, which was $2.12. That's inexpensive.
Right.
And you take two of these, cut them up, or you can do more because you get a pack of 12. You feeding the whole family, and 9 times out of 10, your little sister, you give them that, they know all that, get it soggy and all that stuff. Yeah, it's very reasonable. It's easy to do. It took no time. It won't even 5 minutes. These were done.
Wow. Took 5 minutes.
And it's 5 minutes, and it's also you can do this with your family. Y'all could do like a little project and stuff with the kids, and make it a family thing, and make it fun for them for the summertime. That'll give them something to look forward to. Oh yeah, tonight is gonna be taco night. Tonight it's gonna be quesadillas. Or okay, you get the cheese, you get the meat, I'll do the tortillas. You do a family thing, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Just this one simple dish, right? Next, you let me know when I'm going too fast. Um, this is just some basic pizza. Okay, this is the pre-made crust, which you don't have to roll up the dough. I mean, I can do that, but we talk about school kids; they ain't gonna do all that. So you took it right out the pack. It comes in like a pack like this. This right here, I think, was just like $3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you put it down on a pizza. What do you call this? The pizza pan. You layer, just get a little some sauce with it. The sauce was like $1.29
Uh-huh.
for the pizza sauce. The cheese, like I said, was $2.12. You could use the same bag that you use for the quesadillas and put it on the pizza. Layer some pepperonis, and also what I did, the leftover beef that I didn't use in the quesadillas, I just topped it a little bit on top of the pizza. So now it's pepperoni and beef pizza, and not just pepperoni. So you could do it without the beef or whatnot, or you could just have a cheese pizza.
Got
Very simple. See, and this can be leftovers. You can warm that up in the microwave. For the whole 9 times out of 10, if you got more than one child, this pizza gonna be gone in one night. Because kids love pizza,
right. 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 Right.
right?
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's a beautiful dish. That's a
Mm-hmm.
a simple dish that, and then you talked about doing it as a family. And when you do it
Yeah,
doing that, you're teaching a skill, right? Now you're teaching your
absolutely.
children, who are young, how they can go about, learning how to cook, learning how to prepare a meal, and they can learn how to do it on their own, right? Of course, you don't want them managing the stove, turning the stove on without being supervised. But of
Hmm.
course, if they enjoy leftovers, they can cook, a couple pieces on one day, and that can last them for the next day. So they have food all of that day, and then you do tacos one day, that can be leftovers, and then you do that over and over, and you good for a week versus trying to do something fresh every day.
Hmm. And no, Merles, that's how I. This is how Chef Latrice was created. My grandma, she would call me out. I think I've told this story before, but I would be playing basketball, playing kickball outside with all my cousins, and my grandma would call my name, had me to come in the house, me out all, and I would be mad. But she was, I need you to help me, prepare dinner. I would be in there with her and my aunts, and it just, I used to love doing it so much. Now I done made a whole business out of it. This is my career, but that it started from me doing it with my grandma and my aunts.
Right.
And so you never know what seeds you're planting at the moment when you're giving your kids so many ideas and what they want to do. If the parents would just really take out time and just really put that time in with their kids. And dinner time is the perfect time to get your kids involved if they're helping, especially if they're young enough and
Right.
they ain't been introduced to the game and all that stuff. To playing the game and stuff on the TV. But that, I think that's a perfect seed to start sowing
Yeah.
and get them interested in feeding the family.
Right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's time is precious, right? And
Hmm.
I think it's like you said, if you just prioritize, right? If you just carve out that little bit of time to, say, hey, this is more than just me preparing a meal. Like this is time for me to, have conversation with my children. This is time for me to, sort of observe. A lot of times
Hmm.
you get in your child's presence, you can see things that you may not would have necessarily seen, right? You can look at
Exactly.
their body posture and just look at them and see, what's going on. You just never know. They may open up and share something with you in that moment when you're in that intimate space, just like making them priority, making it about them. And so I think that's another thing that we need now more than ever before is
Hmm.
we need to really be present in our children's lives like never before.
Yeah, I mean, and one way you can get them is like, especially at the beginning of the week, maybe a Sunday night. Hey, y'all, let's come together. Let's plan out what food we're going to, what where we're going to go to, what we're going to get from the store today.
Right,
What y'all want to eat this week. We got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What do y'all like? Then you're finding out what they really like, because a lot of parents, they may not know. They used to DoorDash. They used to the what's that other one called? The Uber Eats. They just let the kids order it themselves. They might not even know what their kids like to eat. But
right,
that's an opportunity for you to create a space for you. The kids are like, I don't really like peanut butter. I don't like what you made the other day, but can you do it without the cheese? Or can you do it without, you just create a conversation. And that's one of the tips that I read. It was saying plan meals ahead of time, and that creates a space that creates to you to build a list off
right,
of how you can turn, like I said with the quesadillas, you can turn quesadillas one night, but then the next night we're going to do tacos too, because we're going to have leftover tortilla
mm,
wraps. So
nice,
then you can build like that. If you like pepperoni in your spaghetti, so we got pepperonis left because you're going to be not wasting food. So you're going to use the pepperonis that you had on a pizza tonight. You're going to put it on in some spaghetti. So just
right,
be very creative.
right.
Then you got they got the ground beef. You're going to use the ground beef for the spaghetti meat and the pepperonis as well. You can be very, very creative and let your kids build that. If you give them the opportunity to speak,
Latrice,
they'll tell you.
hold that thought. I'm gonna have to pivot. Just hold it. I think
Okay.
we having a technical issue on my end that I need to fix. So I'm gonna end this live. Stay where you at,
Okay.
Latrice. I'm gonna end it
Okay.
and just give me a second.
Sure.